I'm Julia Garner, and this is my last meal.
Every person has exactly two things in common. We all gotta eat and we're all gonna die. Today's guest is a 3-time Emmy Award-winning actor who you might recognize from Ozark, Inventing Anna, and the Fantastic Four First Steps. Her new movie, Weapons, is out in theaters August 8th, and she's the reason I will never be able to look at a vegetable peeler the same again. Julia Garner, welcome to the show.
Yes, vegetable peelers.
Not to give anything away from the movie, but I did get to see Weapons in theaters the other day, and then the next night I found myself trying to peel sweet potatoes and gripped by a very visceral sense of terror.
And you just kept on thinking about my face and the vegetable peeler.
I really did. It was haunting my dreams that night, and so I threw my vegetable peeler away, and so now I'm just eating potato skins. I think they're healthy.
Yes, I think so.
Have you thought about your last meal before?
Of course. I have a hard time making decisions, like for little things, for ordering. So this is really great because there's a lot of different options for this. So what made you think of this concept? Are you okay?
Oh no, but thank you so much for asking that. Are you not somebody who hyperfixates on death?
Yes and no. I mean, not to sound like really dark, but I feel like everything dies, everything ends.
Yeah.
But I think it's harder for the people that stay.
Yeah.
I think, that's anybody that stays. I mean, you can have somebody and they're leaving to go to the airport or they're going somewhere, and it's always harder for the person that's staying.
Are you somebody who tends to feel better about it when you talk about it, or do you just try and sort of avoid it, live your life to its fullest, and then whatever may happen, may happen?
When you avoid, it's much worse. And then just that will eat you. That will kind of drive you nuts. But I also I think too, just avoiding anything is probably the worst thing that you can do. Yeah.
I think that exposure ultimately, it kind of takes the power away from something. And then also having lasagna and chocolate chip cookies, that sort of feeds and nourishes the soul.
100%. But even that dies because you're eating it.
But Julia, for a brief 45-second period, because that is how long it takes me to eat a whole tray of lasagna.
What, 45 seconds?
I inhale it like Garfield. I don't even need to chew anymore.
Oh
I'm a veteran. I've been doing this for a while, okay?
You are Garfield. That's crazy. And then I feel like Garfield would think about death.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
There was a malaise about his soul.
There was a melancholy kind of, he had a writer's soul in a way.
He really did.
He really did.
Today, Julia, you and I are both Garfield.
Yes, I'm a little bit Garfield.
You ready to eat?
Yes, I'm ready to eat. Bring it, I'm hungry.
Julia, for the first course of your final meal on this earth, we have a lovely and refreshing tabbouleh. This is made with fresh cracked bulgur wheat, a whole lot of curly parsley in there, tons of lemon, olive oil, and tomatoes. And then we took some liberties with the halloumi. We did a little grilled halloumi dish with a honey vinaigrette, Kalamata olives, and toasted hazelnuts. And then we have a fattoush salad with a pomegranate molasses vinaigrette, fresh toasted and fried pita in there, and then a side of pita, as well as the Diet Coke, the world's healthiest drink.
The healthiest drink. It's balance, you have the vegetables and all the health, and then you have this.
I like to view it like how the Catholic Church used to sell indulgences.
Oh, that's interesting.
They were like, you can sort of buy your way out.
What's your drink? What's your vice of drink? Do you like Diet Coke? Like, what is your go-to?
I would go Coke Zero over Diet Coke. I don't have the long.
Why? I don't know why I was doing that. People are doing all sorts of things now so they can get hits, and they're like, yes, they're always talking to SMR, and then the Diet Coke and this. Why do you like Coke Zero?
I think Coke Zero. If I do this, my throat's gonna bleed.
No, I like that voice. Yeah. Wow. So why do you like Coke Zero?
I like Coke Zero because I think Diet Coke was a victim of coming first. You know what I mean? Like Diet Coke. I can't keep doing it.
Did you put a lot of thought to it? A victim of.
This is all I think about, Julie. This is all I think about.
This is that. So
Diet
you think
Coke.
about food, Diet Coke, and death.
Yeah, mostly. And Diet Coke's related to both food, but it's also probably killing us, so it's kind of the bridge.
I'm taking a flight today, by the way, so.
But think about the fact that you're much more likely to die choking on a hazelnut or on the 405 freeway than you are on a plane. Does that not make you feel better? That makes me feel better.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm hoping at the end of this, you can tell me what's wrong with me.
Normally people are asking me what's wrong with me, so this is it's a nice break.
It's very refreshing.
Yes, it's very refreshing.
What is wrong with you?
I am a overthinker. I think of the worst case scenario. I try not to jump to conclusion, but that's been a thing of mine.
Can I dish you up some
Yes,
tabbouleh?
yes, please. Let enough
The
of
food
me.
makes it all better.
Yes. This is
Tell me about the choices here. Tell me about the connection to bully, halloumi. There's a very Mediterranean theme here.
Yeah, I grew up eating a lot of, Middle Eastern food. It's also just like the most delicious, and you can eat a ton of it and you still don't feel tired or heavy, and it's just great.
It's just like the world's most beautiful cuisine.
Eating vegetables and like eating healthy can taste good too if it's marinated right,
Can I serve you up some halloumi?
Yes, I would love some. Thank you. Food's so interesting because it just opens, it's such an icebreaker, and even when you think of like the most like universal word, it's a drink, food drink, it's coffee.
Yeah, truly.
That is just so interesting to me that everybody starts their day with the same joy in the morning, which is either coffee or tea.
Yeah.
And that has to do with food.
And also the universal want to have legal stimulants that just get your heart rate up and kind of get you ready for the day.
This is very good, by the way.
I am digging this halloumi dish.
It's amazing.
Can I dish you up some fattoush?
I would love some, thank you. It's so funny how it's like very universal. And, that's interesting. I just thought of something. But like that, it's so universal. It's food and death. It really is. It's like, it's the two most simple things. And when you think about it, life is it's so simple. Everybody always complicates everything.
Yes.
They really do. But it's like people just want to eat and they want to die in peace.
100%. And that was almost the entirety of human history until like the agricultural revolution, maybe?
Yeah, until people kind of messed it up.
Thanks, ancient Mesopotamians with your fields of wheat. Well, Julie, you're in a movie called Weapons. One of the major themes that I took away from this, and maybe the most heartbreaking theme, is that the way that fear is used to control people, especially control people, children, vulnerable people, into silence, where if you could just summon that courage to speak, something that you need to, this whole situation could have been avoided, but also this fear is just such a crushing feeling. Yeah. What were the themes that you took from Weapons that really drew you to the role?
Zach Cregger, the director, he thinks so outside the box. It's always been rare, but it's becoming a rarer and rarer thing in a way. The thing that I find fascinating with Weapons is it's not about this, but it ties into addiction a lot. Like every character's having an addiction in their own way.
Yeah.
And I think with addiction, there's shame, and you're trying to manipulate and control and avoid the feeling of shame. So they're all kind of like tied together. And I think that's always interesting to play out in a way.
This was my first horror movie that I've seen in theaters in over a decade.
Are you not a horror fan?
The thing that I try and generally avoid is this incredible stress where I'm not in control. I love stress where I'm in control, but the thing that I found was this like beautiful collective human experience where not only are we all terrified at the same time, but it's also such a deeply sad, empathetic human story. So we all, felt that sadness at the same time. There's laugh out loud jokes.
Yeah.
It was like our emotions were all being pulled by the same string at the same time. Have you had that experience in a theater? And what was the first time you can remember that happening?
Well, all my favorite movies have that. And because and it's the same thing when I read a script. If I feel like it's like one color, I think it's really important to have comedy in every project in a way. Because if you have comedy, then when you have the drama within the story, it's going to be more heartbreaking because you kind of fell in love with those characters that made you laugh and you are invested more. And that's what I love about Zach's tone is that he has such a unique tone that I've never seen anything on screen. It's very strange in the most beautiful way.
As somebody who's a chronic overthinker, horror movies seem to be an interesting genre to find yourself in, especially knowing how deep you go into roles. This is like your 6th or 7th major horror movie that you're starring in.
I mean, that's what I'm getting. No, but it's true. I also think, too, that's where, like, the interesting work is now. I mean, think about the amount of, like, amazing filmmakers that are coming out, and they all got their start in horror. And I think that's kind of the genre where you are allowed to kind of do anything and be unapologetic and not feel like you energetically have somebody hovering over you and being like, no to that, no to that. You kind of can just play and create. And yeah, I think that's why horror films are so popular now, in a way.
Does any part of you just want to like do a rom-com? You're just like, God, I wish I could just be
Oh my God.
walking down New York City.
That's like all I watch. So yes, but please, if anybody's hiring for a rom-com, hire me. I promise I'll be funny. I promise. Please, I'm desperate. And that's funny.
I think this
It's
is
really
what gets
funny.
you cast in horror movies, though, is maybe
Yeah.
like the unhinged looks you're giving to the camera.
Oh no.
Julia, for course number 2 of your final meal on Earth, we have the lasagna bolognese. This is 4 layers, ragu made with beef and lamb, ricotta, a little bit of bechamel on top with Parmigiano Reggiano. We have the caprese salad, heirloom tomatoes. We're flat in tomato season. It's beautiful. Bufala mozzarella, a little bit of salt, olive oil, and balsamico. Simple spaghetti pomodoro, fresh grated tomatoes, a little bit of garlic, tossed with olive oil and spaghetti. Why did I say that like Johnny?
I know, I love
spaghetti?
it. I'm like, brava,
Prego, ragazzi.
Grazie,
I prosciutto e meloni, buon appetito.
Do you want to start with the caprese? That's you're going Italian. I'm just going New York.
Is that like
so-
Mob Daughter? Like
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
Sopranos.
yeah, you know,
the
like
I love this.
Tony.
I grew up on the OC, so like I was never
yeah.
a Sopranos guy.
Were you watching the OC while you were living?
So I actually
in the OC.
No, I never watched the OC, but what I did watch was the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Did you watch like the OG season?
Season 1, I watched Vicky get heckled in a Target because she was just trying to buy
A man
normal
after my
stuff.
own heart. Oh my goodness.
And then everybody's
Yes.
staring
That's
at her.
not my opinion.
And then somebody just goes, hey, I didn't know they sold Gucci in Target. And then the whole store started laughing at her and she left the Target.
Have you ever seen the Real Housewives of Orange County out in the wild when you were younger, growing up?
Oh, no, that was in the wild in Target. I watched Vicky get
Oh.
laughed out of a Target.
I thought you were just talking about like B-roll from
No.
the
That was my neighbor. They lived right across the street. Their gated community that we would hop the fence to build BMX jumps in and then get chased away by security. They lived there. I used to play basketball against, what's up, Colton? Colton Keogh. He played for my rival high school, and me and my buddy used to look up plot lines to talk crap on him. So I'd be guarding him and be like, hey, sorry, your mom got divorced and
Look
started
into the
dating
camera and
Slade.
say that.
So I'd be guarding him. I'd be like here, and I'd be like, hey, sorry, your mom's divorce papers finally went through and she's dating Slade. And then I'll never forget this. He goes, that was shot 9 months ago, asshole.
Oh my God. Wait,
I said it's new to me.
So that's insane.
No, should we go melon or
let's go-
spaghetti?
Let's do a melon.
Do you knife and fork this, or do you just?
I do.
It depends. If I'm like you know,
Really?
sitting in a proper
Yeah.
setting, I would knife and fork it. But if I'm at home, I mean, this is
Yeah,
just.
you're just gonna put it,
Garfield
Garfield side, but we're on camera, so
I
we still
know.
have to be well behaved. Or
They
I
know
could
that.
also just,
There, she finally. Thank God.
that's what I'm gonna do.
We can
You
lose
know,
the pretense.
whatever.
We're about to
Who
die.
cares? We're gonna
eating
die.
prosciutto, melone.
If I was about to die, I would do a lot crazier than this. Is not like, what would you do before you would die?
Yeah, we can't put this in. I mean, just like I just,
Okay,
yeah.
good. I think we should put this in.
Julie, what's the craziest thing you would do that you're comfortable saying on camera if you were about to die?
I mean, that's a terrible question because I would do the most obscene, crazy shit,
Yeah.
self-destructive shit.
Would you mind if people knew it was you? Like, would you go ski mask?
I don't give an F. I don't care. I'm just gonna go rogue, baby. Because at that point, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, but your legacy, your family, presumably you have family.
Is
left.
anybody gonna remember me in like 30 years when all my family dies?
Okay, but if someone was like, hey, 6-time Oscar winner Julia Garner, age 74,
Well,
robbed a bank and then like jumped out of an airplane.
see,
to
that's
her
kind
death.
of cool.
I agree
Is
with
there
that.
something wrong with me that I'm like, wow, what a freaking legend?
Is there something about that intensity that is always
Bring that back.
attractive to you?
No, bring that back. Like, bring back the movie star that would sit in the Academy Awards, watching the Oscars, wearing sunglasses indoors, and going like, bring that back. I like that.
Where do you think that comes from for you?
You know what it is? I think it's the sense of like authority that's really attractive, and that makes a star.
Yeah. We're in a weird age for movie stars because
Yes.
people have so much access. They sit down and
Everyone's
they eat
so
lasagna with strangers talking about death.
But it has an edge. You're talking about death. You're saying, oh, I'm eating this beautiful meal, and how would you like to die? What would you eat?
What would I eat before I died?
Yeah.
I would use the world's best products to create the greatest carne asada burrito.
But that would be your last meal, is to work?
Yes, actually, yes. No, that is the only, it's sort of the reason I got this tattoo of a vegetable, because leeks are the hardest vegetable to prep and clean. And it's like a reminder to myself how much I love doing the hard work, because it's something that calms me down. It distracts me from death for the time being. And I think, like the hunter-gatherers, people, they want something to work towards.
Isn't it so interesting? Like, to me, the process is so much more interesting than the result. Like,
100%.
It's, you know, once you get that final result, it's then all of a sudden, it's just like boring. And you're like, what's gonna happen next? It's always about the process. So I do like that leek tattoo.
Thank you. What is the end of the process for you? Is it after you wrap filming, or is it after the project comes out? And do you get almost a sense of like melancholy or depression after you've finished your work on the project?
I don't want to say I get depressed. There's a sense of letting go that I think there's an art form to letting go, in a way. And I think when you finish a production, especially with my job when you're acting, you know, it's so much in your control. And then all of a sudden it's not in your control at all. You know, you could give this amazing performance, and then the way that they edit you is just awful.
Yeah.
And then you kind of, there's a lot of like, I'm gonna hope for the best and maybe expect for the worst.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it's not a bad way to live.
No.
Can I give you some spaghetti?
Yes.
The spaghetti's getting cold.
As long as you don't break the spaghetti, that's good.
What's the most insufferably California thing that you brought to your family in New York that they give you crap for?
Moving. Just moving in
general.
general. My sister, God, it was so annoying. She was like, "Oh, yeah, you're an LA, you're a California girl now. You're an LA girl now." And for some reason I got so offended. I mean, sorry, you're from California. What am I doing?
But I could tell that you are from the East Coast by the way you pronounce California.
Really?
There's a vowel sound in the A.
Okay,
California.
Wait,
It's
say
like
California.
California.
Okay.
There's almost a vocal fry like a California. Like if you really slow it down, it becomes like.
California.
Dude, you from San Clemente? Yeah, dude, I grew up in Southern California.
Southern California.
That's great. You're the queen of accents. Killed it.
I'm eating spaghetti.
Also, you've like literally worked with a dialect coach to master pretty much every accent just in your downtime, right?
Yeah.
Like aside from your fantastic work as Anna
I'm like
Delvey,
you.
as
I
Ruth,
like working. Give me something to do.
because then the bad thoughts enter your brain if you stop.
Well, I like being busy.
Same.
Yeah. I kind of was like, you know what? I kind of want to learn something. You know, you always want different skill sets in a way that once the job, that job comes by, you're going to be ready to go and not think about it and have the confidence to kind of do what you need to do. So I just wanted to learn somewhat every dialect in a way. So I hired a dialect coach and kind of learned the basics of every dialect. And by the time that project came about, then I could, you know, fine tune it in a way.
How much does your love of the work come back to like your childhood start in acting? Because I know you had a pretty severe learning disability and you said that you always felt really insignificant in school. And then it wasn't until you started acting.
Sorry, I laugh when things are really awful.
It is. No, it is.
Sorry. So when clearly you're making your eating and we're talking about death.
But I want to go all the way back to the beginning.
Well, I was bad at a lot of things. And yeah, in acting I was somewhat okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny with acting. It's like there's a sense of putting yourself out there, but there's also a sense of hiding. And I do like to hide. In a way.
But you mentioned like you're almost wearing a character like a cloak where despite the fact that you are the body saying the words, it's almost not you, the person.
It's somebody else's words, but it's my emotions.
Whoa. Do you actually feel those emotions as your own then?
They like intertwine.
That's a fascinating state to be in. What's the feeling of being in that flow state. Athletes call it being in the zone. I mean, monks would call it meditation.
Yeah, it's very similar to playing sports. You know, there's the team aspect of it, and everybody's working together, and then there's also chasing the flow state and being the prep work, but then letting that go and just being very lost in the moment, or hoping that you're going to get lost in the moment, because that's the best work, is when you're lost in the moment.
Well, oh, we haven't even eaten the lasagna. Eat the lasagna. I'm
gonna
distracting you from your food. I
but
can yap all day.
I do make, that's what I make well. I make a good lasagna.
If you could make one dish in the world to impress somebody, would it be lasagna? Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Come back here, cook lasagna with us. We won't talk about that.
I will. I put pepperoni in my lasagna.
That's the craziest shit I've ever heard.
Is it?
You're talking about how much you love Italian food, New York, and Italian food, and didn't trust us a pizza. You're putting pepperoni in your lasagna?
Yeah, it's really good.
It sounds great. I didn't expect it.
Says the chef. He's critiquing me already.
I overreacted.
He's writing a review. You said you were a journalist.
Sometimes
oh my God.
I'm not agreeing.
Oh my God. I'm not going to give you lasagna.
And I would love to try your pepperoni lasagna buckets. I was going to ask a pertinent question about characters. What character have you felt yourself get lost into the deepest flow state with?
All of them in different ways, especially the ones where I'm playing them for a very long time. Like Ruth, I was playing her for a really, really long time. So I really got to know her for a really long time. And then, you know, Delvey, like I'm a sleep talker. Like I talk in my sleep. Apparently, like this, my husband, like I'll have a full conversation and I'm not even aware. And there was this one time he woke up and I like went like this, and he's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I don't want this purse. I want that purse." I was like in full conversation as Delvey, and then he will talk back to me and ask me questions, and yeah. So I think that probably it gets to that point. That's how I know I'm really deep in it.
Julie, for course number 3 of your final meal on Earth, we have the schnitzel sampler. You didn't ask for this, but we wanted to make you this. We have the chicken schnitzel with the sesame and the breadcrumb. Chicken's been brined overnight, pounded thin. Then we have more of a classic Austrian pork schnitzel. And then we wanted to do a little something funky and actually go with the whole roasted eggplant schnitzel. You can still kind of see the stem right there.
That's really good.
We've roasted it, flattened it out, fried it, got some fresh fries, lemon. Please enjoy.
There's a lot of food going on. Ooh. Do you want
Thank you so much. What's the connection to schnitzel?
So you know how lasagna is the thing that I like to make. So my mom makes really, really good schnitzel. You know, my family, on my mother's side, they're German. Mm-hmm. So I grew up eating schnitzel and like cucumber salad. And some of my earliest sense memories is the smell of schnitzel.
As somebody who loves the intensity of experience, do you try and balance that out with like equal amounts of coziness? Like, do you also chase that cozy safety?
When I'm not working, I have like two sides. Either I'm like super intense when I'm working, or I'm like complete bed rat. Mm-hmm. And I just will rot in bed, just rot away for like 3 days straight. That's all I need. Mm-hmm. I need to be by myself in a bed, not moving, just rotting away, and then I'm like rebirthed.
I like that. I think there is something beneficial to the human existence about having a high variance of experiences.
Mm-hmm. I love being around people, but they don't recharge me in a way.
Yeah.
And a person, they said to me once, they're like, "Oh, so you're an outgoing introvert." Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, people make me very happy. Like, I think the thing that inspires me the most, if people are always like, oh, what movies, books, whatever, that doesn't inspire me. Like a great conversation, a deep conversation always inspires me. So with another human, and but I like to reflect alone and kind of recharge and think about that conversation in a way.
The thing that really attracts me to food, I love, you know, the actual act of cooking, and I love serving people in the conversation, but to me it's always been about the people behind the food. Anytime you can learn about schnitzel and see its migration, you can learn about the history of the world. This is actually ketchup made from bananas, because this is based on a Filipino dish, and you can trace the origin of banana ketchup back to like World War II and GI occupation of the Philippines. And so the point is, like, people are the most interesting thing. Is that why you think you love the prep behind characters so much? Because ultimately, banana ketchup.
I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not used to it though. It's
Oh
good.
yeah. It's very sweet and it's dyed red because they didn't have access to tomatoes.
Got it.
But to you, it's like studying these characters and inhabiting them. It's like meeting a new person and learning every single thing about them for the first time.
It's kind of like when I read something, and I'll kind of judge it in the same way as like when I was single and going on dates, in a way where it's like, is this interesting enough for me to want to keep going on a date with this person and get to know this person, and then maybe eventually fall in love with this person, and it kind of in that same way. But if I'm not interested in the person or getting to know the person, it can even be like a friendship. It's the same thing with characters. If I'm not interested in getting to know them, I don't want to do it.
Again, the horror movies, it all makes sense because they are so multi-dimensional. I know you tend to keep a journal as the character when you take a role. What did your journal entry say for Justine Candy, who played in Weapons?
It was just I think for her, not feeling enough or like worthy in a way, and feeling misunderstood, I think was her big thing. Because I think people judge her in the beginning of the film. They think of her as one way, and then it's completely different by the end of it. So maybe they were judging her.
And seen through different perspectives, which is also really cool.
Yeah.
If someone were playing you in a biopic and they were writing a journal as you, what do you think they would find as your major motivation?
That's a great question. One, I don't know how interesting my biopic would be. So that's one.
Just rotting in bed
Yeah,
for
just
an
rotting
8-minute
in bed and just like
shot.
being stuck in a green room somewhere in like Baton Rouge.
I know you said that typically...
What would you write? You just met me, and if you wanted to get to know me, like what your observation?
I think I've heard you say this, that you tend to go back to characters' childhoods, even if they aren't ever presented as a child from that. And so I would say that you are somebody who likely grew up feeling very insignificant from school. I think we're all sort of stuck in this age of when we're like 6, 7 years old and coming into consciousness and learning what it means to be a human. And you're somebody who found that initial dopamine rush of being good at something for the first time. And it happens to be the thing that people get most famous for being good at, which is really interesting because I don't think any of your motivation was to be seen in that way, to be famous, right?
No.
And I think you're stuck a little bit in this paradox where you grew up on the classic movie stars, and I think you have a certain amount of yearning for that time, but also this bittersweet nostalgia of knowing that you can never go back. And so that's what I'd say about the motivations from childhood.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Oh,
You're not
I thought you said I'm wrong.
No.
Yeah, probably.
No, but I think too, there's a certain, I think that I have a fixation on like the old time stars because there's also a sense of mystery, and there's no more mystery, or it's very hard to maintain mystery. There's, and if you are keeping that, then there's somebody else and they're doing some crazy shit online and they're gonna, get clicks or something. It's very hard now.
Do you still believe that the quality of your work can actually cut through all that? Because I think you are specifically one of those people where the actual quality of your work, no matter what role you're in, the emotions that you are able to convey to the audience cuts through all of this BS about who is the most marketable or whatever because they open themselves up to so much social media. Do you still believe that there's a future in which like that can be the main thing?
Absolutely.
That makes you a star?
Absolutely.
You kind of have to.
I think we live in a day and age where marketing and sales is like viewed as number one. But just because something's viewed as number one doesn't mean it's always gonna win.
Yeah.
And I think great art, great storytelling, that always wins. I think also moving people always wins.
What does the phrase "failure is a friend of the clown" mean to you?
Exactly that. It means,
Where did you learn that?
So I learned that in clown school. I learned a lot of crazy, amazing things. And I got a certificate and a red nose.
The teacher you studied under, Philippe Gaulier, is known for some of the craziest insults you have ever heard in your life, and known for just berating people when they got on stage. What was the craziest thing you said?
I loved it. He was telling the truth. It was bad. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Couldn't hear a laugh. Nothing. At least he was telling the truth. And I loved that. I loved that.
You don't like liars.
I don't like liars. And I'm very good at telling when someone's lying. And I'm bad at lying. I'm awful at lying.
Is that not part of acting?
Oh, no.
Is that a misconception?
Absolutely.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well, lying's lying, and acting is, it's not my truth, but whoever I'm playing, that's their truth. Unless the character's lying. But then still, within the lie, there's the truth. There's the lie here with whatever my scene partner, and then there's the truth in here as the character. So you're never really lying.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's my reality at the moment.
I know part of like the Gaulier pedagogy about clowning. I fell down this rabbit hole. I have special interests. So when I found out you trained with him, I just couldn't stop watching his videos. But it sounds like so much of his belief is that ultimately to be a clown is to be an idiot, and the ultimate idiot is the child, because the child is out of place in a world that was never built for them, and we still find them sort of amusing. There's like an innocence to it. And finding your clown is about finding your inner child. Did you find anything out about your inner child from going to clown school?
I've always tried to maintain the inner child. I think the inner child stops when you close up. And I wasn't realizing, because there were so many changes in my life over the last few years, and all the like pressure and things that really don't matter, even though it does, but it doesn't really, right? Yeah. And when I went to clown school, it reminded me of like, it doesn't matter, just stay open, because if you stay open, good, bad, magical things happen.
I love that.
You know, and that's what he means by failure is a friend of the clown. It's like, you're not gonna get a laugh. There's nothing funny. He would always say, there's nothing funny about the cookie clown. All great clowning is tied to being humble.
Julia, for the final course of your final meal on Earth, we have the chocolate chip cookies, fresh baked. We have the flat white. That's 2 shots of ristretto espresso with micronized foamed milk, some sugar if you please. And then we have an Entenmann style cake, because Entenmann says discontinued, at least regionally, maybe for good, the chocolate icing chocolate fudge cake. So we recreated it from scratch. Entenmann's like periodically discontinues so many of their products.
Entenmann's, if you are watching, I'm looking at you directly in the eye. Do something about this. This is a tragedy.
Tragedy.
Yes.
Your tragedy, Entenmann's, please.
Yes, please.
So we have made it from scratch. Fresh homemade whipped cream on top. Please dig in.
So that was my birthday cake.
We timed that like synchronized divers.
You're from Orange County. Did they have Entenmann's?
Oh yeah,
there?
I grew up, my grandma had a frozen Entenmann's coffee cake. At any point, it was always frozen. At no point was it ever thawed. She would cut off, give it to me for an after-school snack.
I like your grandma.
She's wonderful.
Yeah.
You would love her. She would have loved you. And then a frozen half a gallon of milk. Just Depression era stuff,
What is it with grandmas and milk? My grandmother, Georgia Garner, she hated water. She only drank grapefruit juice, absolute vodka, no ice, and milk.
No one drank water before like 1993.
Yeah, what is that?
It just wasn't a thing.
Did your grandmother drink water?
No, absolutely not. No, she drank like, Manischewitz, a lot of whole milk, and then, Trader Joe's orange juice. That was 6 months past the expiration date.
No, that's healthier than my grandma. My grandmother was 98 pounds and just drank a lot of vodka and no ice.
It seems like you have a lot, like you genuinely have like a lot of love and admiration for her. You can like see the way your face lights up thinking about your grandma.
'Cause she was hilarious. There was no one like Georgia.
Yeah. How do you personally deal with grief in your own life? Are you somebody that handles it well? Do you like to distract yourself with work?
I've always liked to distract myself with work a little bit.
Same.
But I've had that experience, and that it doesn't it's not smart, and it doesn't like end well. Your problems are always going to follow you, no matter what. So might as well just, deal with them face on.
You said that when you played Ruth Langmore in Ozark, you inhabited that character for so long that you felt a certain kind of grief. Well, we can give away spoilers.
She dies.
What kind of grief did you feel in that moment, and how did you snap yourself out of that? Was there a long process?
I get emotional thinking about it because she was such a huge part of my life. And, I started that role. I started playing, when I started, I was 22. And I was doing that show for years. And I feel like the formative years, and she changed my life. And I loved her. I absolutely loved her. So.
It's so interesting hearing you say she changed my life, because obviously from my perspective, it's well, you changed your life by giving life to that fictional character in a lot of ways. Do you think there's something about, I don't know, you almost not giving yourself credit in that regard?
No, I do. I mean, I do, for allowing myself and opening up, letting myself go, and getting to know somebody else really well, that I could tap into that. So I do give myself credit, but in a different way.
There's one line read from Ozark that has gone down in infamy for all the best reasons. But if you want to stop me, you're gonna have to kill me, and I will not do you the disservice of imitating you with doing that. But there's something so special about that we've seen blow up online for all the appropriate reasons. What place do you need to get to in your mind to be able to deliver a line read that is that bordering on feral in such an awesome way?
During that time with her cousin and everything, she was saying, if you want to stop me, you're gonna have to kill me. That she was already dead inside. She already died because of that significant loss. So she kind of was like, what's the worst that, if you're gonna do something, I have nothing to lose. I can do whatever I want, and I'm not gonna feel guilty because I'm already gone. Speaking of death, that's really what it was.
It is actually so incredible to hear that firsthand, how much thought and depth went into that scene, because it is something that you feel. And going back to what you said about this whole business is just about making people feel something.
Yeah, and I also think too, especially with acting, you have to be very cautious of besides it being visual, it's also audio. So the rhythm of how somebody speaks, they're very sensitive to that. So there's different types of screams, and I think I remember obsessing over wanting to go up instead of screaming down. Because that was the less predictable, and also it's more feral if you go, sorry, that was really bad, but really up.
Well, ADR,
Yeah.
we got a couple pickups of you. Julia, please.
Now we have to eat this
Eat a cookie as we...
I mean, it's very good, but I've never been more full in my life. Oh my
as
God.
we near the end of our journey, what do you think happens?
Oh my God, this is so good, but I'm so full.
What do you think happens when you die?
What the hell do I know?
You ready to go to the lightning round?
Yes.
Who's the one person, dead or alive, you'd want to share your actual last meal with?
So sad. Oh my God. I don't know. Can I just have one big party?
You can have a party.
Because then everybody's gonna get angry, and I don't want to leave this earth where people are angry at me, so I'm just gonna have one big party. I'll be a Last Supper.
I'm coming. What song do you want to be played at your funeral? Nothing by Foster the People. They would not relinquish the rights to their music.
Wait.
We got that note.
Probably Hypnotized by Notorious B.I.G. I can't help, but it's a great song. It's a bop.
We're already having a party.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say.
It's the Last Supper. Hey.
If you were in charge of Turner Classic Movies programming for a day, what are the 3 movies you'd show?
All About Eve. I always pick that. Every interview. All About Eve, but All About Eve. The Godfather. Dr. Zhivago.
What's your greatest regret?
Honestly, I don't know. Even the times where I have made mistakes, I own up to it, even with myself, and I try to make it a part of the story, and not do it again, and not let it take control over my narrative in my life.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Love that. If a cosmic entity in a shiny metal herald on a surfboard was about to destroy Earth and the only thing stopping him was a ragtag team of 4 mutants, what's the first thing you'd do?
Wait,
If a cosmic entity...
wait, what is this question? I don't
If a cosmic
understand.
entity in a shiny metal herald on a surfboard was about to destroy Earth and the only thing stopping him was a ragtag team of 4 mutants, what's the first thing you'd grab from your house?
Oh my God, I'm like the worst. Like if I was in a zombie apocalypse movie, I would be the first person to die or the second person. Maybe my phone, but even then, like what if the service goes out? Then you can't... A Cliff Bar? I don't know. I don't know.
Just feeling
I
peckish?
told you. What would you bring?
Cat.
You would bring your
I'd bring
cat.
Pippin, my Garfield-ass cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's nice.
That's nice.
You know.
That's not gonna do much, but that's nice.
Finally, Julia, are you happy?
I'm very happy.
And I am incredibly happy that I
Yeah.
got to share this wonderful meal with you. Everybody go see Weapons. Julia, if you want to say your last words to that camera right there.
Lasagna.
There it is. We love a callback. Truly, you are freaking fantastic. Weapons is fantastic. If I can brave seeing a horror movie in theaters for the first time in a decade because of how good it was, you can too. I believe in you. Just curl up in the fetal position. It's nice.
Yeah, that's the thing to do. And don't be afraid of vegetable peelers after this.
Or do. The perfect way to elevate all of your meals. The Last Meals bar set is available now at mythical.com.